Hello, I am Joel A. Erickson, Colts insider for the Indy Star. I am joined by Nathan Brown. The Colts lose today, 20-16. It's a huge loss. The implications going forward, they are essentially in a three-way race where everyone controls their own destiny for the playoffs.
Yeah, a team that, 3 or 4 weeks ago was in serious conversations for the number one seed in the AFC no longer leads its own division race. They are now behind the tiebreakers, now behind the Jaguars on tiebreakers. They technically have the same record, but they are behind in common games, 6-2, 5-3. They, of course, go to Jacksonville next week, a place where they have not won since 2014. This is just the type of game that if you're going to make a deep run in January that you need to win.
Ultimately, there's a lot of stuff that went down, including some calls I think we need to address here. But to me, this game comes down to two catches that should have been made on the final drive. Josh Downs on third down with a drop, and then Michael Pittman, not necessarily a drop, but a catch he should have made. He didn't feel like his hands were ready on fourth down for the first down.
Yeah, and there were more of those even earlier in the game. Daniel Jones, by no means spectacular numbers today. I think he was 14 for 27 for just over 200 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks. There were, he didn't play like Superman. He wasn't playing like an MVP caliber quarterback that we saw earlier in the year. But this didn't really feel like it was a game that so much weighed on his shoulders as guys around him missing plays and dropping balls that they should have been able to catch.
3 calls in a span of a few plays that really changed this game. The referees appeared to miss a delay of game on the same play that they also called pass interference on Kenny Moore when it did not really appear that there was much contact. And then after the Texans scored their touchdown, it looks, if you look at the replay, as if they missed the extra point badly to the left. I am the pool reporter for the Indianapolis market. That means I get to ask the questions. The hard part about that is they do not admit things.
No.
On these pool reports. They said that Kenny Moore was a clear arm grab. I didn't see that. I don't think you saw that.
No, and Cam Bynum actually in the locker room, who I believe was right by the ref that called defensive pass interference, said in his mind it was a clear missed call, by the way.
So the hard part there is we don't necessarily get answers on it. I know fans are talking about a couple of missed face masks. We did not get a chance to ask about those. One of the other things about being the pool reporter is I have to submit what plays I'm asking about very far in advance. Don't love that either. But we did ask the questions. The answers we got just frankly sort of portrayed maybe an alternate version of what you saw at home.
Yeah, some other really major moments in this game. Sauce Gardner on what I believe was the second play on offense for the Texans, second play on defense for the Colts. He goes down with a non-contact injury. We spoke with him after the game in the locker room. He believes it is a calf strain. He was seen on the sidelines after that injury, after he went back to the locker room in street clothes with a walking boot on his left foot. We saw him in the locker room. He left the locker room on crutches, but was able to put some weight on it. Seemed, somewhat confident that we could see him back this year. Did not believe that it was an Achilles injury, which is, of course, the biggest concern when you hear calf in a football player, but we'll hopefully learn here in a couple days what exactly the extent of his injury is.
A lot of stuff happened today. Ultimately, it comes down to it is Colts lose. They are now in a dogfight for the AFC South. It will play out over the course of the month of December, and right at the beginning of January, we will be there for the Indy Star. I'm Joel A. Erickson. This is Nathan Brown.
2 losses in a row now. I mean, just
definitely a couple plays you want to have back. Wish some calls would have gone our way, but at the end of the day, doesn't matter what the refs call. We are the ones that have to make the plays go. So we just got to make sure we help the defense out. We got to get back to playing complementary football.
What's changed maybe the last couple of weeks?
We just have to stay on track. Of course, there's going to be some adversity throughout the season. Everyone would love to go undefeated, but at the end of the day, how do you fight this adversity? How do you bounce back?
How much of this, I know Daniel's fighting through some things too, but does that change the offense at all?
No, definitely. Daniel's out there. Daniel's good to go. We trust in our trainers. We know that he wouldn't be out there if he wasn't good to go. So we definitely still have to help Daniel, though. At the end of the day, got to give him time. We got to be in our right spots. Protection has to be great. So, like I said, it's the greatest team sport.
I don't like using the term must win, but is next week a must win knowing what's at stake?
Every week's must win. This week was a must win. And I just think when you have that mentality, that's how those great teams become elite, is when they believe every win, every week is a must win, because they realize, hey, we control our own destiny.
The late game plays, the drop by Josh Downs late, and then Michael Pittman got his hands on the ball. Just how uncharacteristic is it for those guys to not come through those plays?
Like I said, you want to make every catch. You want to break every run for 99 yards. But at the end of the day, it comes down to a level of focus. Like I said, we got to help Daniel out. We got to be in our spots. We got to make the plays. But at the end of the day, it's a collective effort.
What have you seen from Alec this year? Obviously, another 75-plus yard game.
Yeah, he's unstoppable. He's incredible.
Okay, Badge. Sorry if we're a little late, but just the extra points. Obviously, how concerning is that?
It's just you got to make those points. I mean, that you make that extra point, you give us a chance at the end there to tie it up. So just got to score when we can and got to do my job.
Is there something different? Obviously, it's happened recently.
Nothing different. Just missed them. Got to make them.
It's another tough one today. Just what went on today out there?
Just a tough battle against a division opponent, and we came up short. We ain't making enough plays. So,
how do you guys keep this focus, though? Obviously, you guys have talked about adversity. This is truly that right now.
Yeah, I mean, every great team's gonna go through adversity in the season. This is the type of thing that hardens you as a team, and it gives you an opportunity to grow and be better. So. We just at this point, this is where we're going to figure out the type of guys we got in this locker room, type of team we want to be this season. So just got to get back, lock in and focus and be better.
There's always a sense of urgency late in the season, but knowing what the division standings are, how do you guys kind of turn that around?
I'll be honest with you, I feel like every game this season we've had extreme sense of urgency. Like every game to me has felt like the most important game of the season. So I wouldn't really, obviously division games count double. Disappointed that we lost one at home, especially. This one hurts. This one hurts. But we're going to continue to focus in. We got a big game on the road next week.
That game next week, we know the history down there. How much you guys using that as motivation? Not that you guys need it.
Yeah, I don't care about no history. It don't matter nothing to me. This is a brand new team. That's a brand new team. I don't care about nothing that ever happened down there. I'm looking forward to seeing them on the field on Sunday. I don't care about none of that.
How much did Sauce's injury impact you guys on defense today?
It was significant, to be honest with you. Sauce is an incredible player. Similar to when we lost Mooney pregame against AZ, you lose a guy like that, you got to pretty much shift the whole game plan, and, a lot of the calls kind of go out the window without, certain securities that you had when Sauce was out there. So it definitely affected it, but I felt like the guys that came in played great. Jay Jones and Kai, they came in and made some plays, and to help the team be in a position to win.
I got to ask you about one of the offensive guys, Alec. You've been playing with him for a while now. How has he grown? Obviously, he seems like a deep threat every single game.
Yeah, he's one of them. I think he's one of those guys that easy to get typecast because of obviously leading the league in yards per catch, but he got a full route tree, and I think he can line up against anybody and win on one-on-one, and that's the type of receiver you want on your team. So.
I planned on playing the whole time. That was my plan.
Did you come in at the end of this pretty drained? Like, how difficult was this for you to play tonight?
I was sick, but still, everybody's got something going on, right? So it's not that big of a deal.
Just saw your quarterback come over and check on you after that one. How much were you battling through just today?
I was just playing like anybody else. Really wasn't that big of a deal.
Getting the touchdown, though, obviously helps absolve some of what you're going through. What did you guys see that created the opportunity for you yet again in the end zone?
I think that was kind of one of the better drives we had. So it was a play action that kind of helped us when we established the run game.
You talked about everybody's battling through something. Obviously, your quarterback is as well. When he's going out there leading by example, is that just another testament to everybody is kind of rising up and trying to fight and battle, especially given the magnitude of this one?
Yeah, I think Daniel kind of always, everything he does sets a good example, and especially with what he's dealing with, it's awesome to see him out there playing the way he is.
Houston was able to dominate time of possession. What made it just so difficult out there to sustain some longer drives this afternoon?
I think really getting the first down out of the way is always important. So that was something we could be better at, and yeah, I think when you do get that, it helps make the next first down and first down after that a lot easier to get. So.
Given the magnitude of this one, just how disappointing, frustrating, whatever description is to walk out with this loss, knowing how many of these divisional games, how critical they will be through this next stretch?
I think any time you lose, obviously it's going to be not what you want and not what you're playing for the week. But and obviously divisional games are more important, but we still got plenty ahead of us to focus on, and still not a lot of opportunity left. So that's kind of what you got to look at.
Through the last four, have you noticed any common themes? Because there's some games there's turnovers, some games there's not. Is there anything in common between this kind of slump in the last month?
No, I mean, I think it's just kind of the ups and downs of football, right? We got to be as consistent as we can each week. I think from the offensive side of the ball, sustaining drives and putting points up on the board at the end of the day, however it might be, field goals or touchdowns is most important.
I think it's like a strain. Did you
fear the worst when you go there?
Not for real. I felt like I got like shot in the calf or something, but it was like high. So it wasn't. I wasn't fearing. I wasn't thinking of the worst.
So you said it was high. It's higher in the calf.
Yeah, I don't think it's like the Achilles or nothing like that. Yeah, I think I'm going today. Yeah.
I guess what's going through your mind when you're blocking at one point or getting blocked and then you're going off the field and you need some help to get back there?
You know, just wishing I could be out there. The normal stuff, you know what I'm saying?
Sauce, what do you think of how your unit performed once you went down?
I wasn't able to watch that much, obviously, when I came in, you know. But it was, like, hard to, like, be so in tune because I kept thinking about this, you know what I'm saying? So I really have to just watch the tape, just to analyze that.
Did you avoid an Achilles injury, or is that something you have to find out later?
I wouldn't just say like avoid, like, you know, God got a plan for everything. So, you know, I don't think that's what it is, but that's all God, you know, just slowing me down a little bit for greater reason.
Mentally, what are the last one is that you're fighting on not being able to stay with what felt like a real big game like that?
It was tough, you know, because I was looking forward to like the matchup and everything. I was looking forward to like my first home game here, you know. It happens.
All right, injuries. You guys saw Sauce. He has a calf. That's the only injury from the game. Obviously, very frustrating anytime you lose to a division opponent, especially at home. You know, we got to get back on track this week against Jacksonville. Get it cleaned up tomorrow. You know, and take ownership and everything. Myself, everybody included. It's not about one person. We got to get it right. Obviously, that's the first time we've dropped 2 in a row this year. We got to get back on track this week.
What are your just general concerns about your offense, just from where you were to where you are?
Yeah, I think just staying on schedule. I mean, I think early on, we were 0 for 5 on third downs early on, so we got to be better there to maintain drives. Efficiency on first and second down. Don't put ourselves in, second and long situations. So we got to get back on track there for sure. Look at that from a schematic standpoint and where we're putting guys and how we're doing things to help our guys out. Yeah, I mean, I love Badge, but he knows he's got to make those kicks, So we have faith in whoever we put out there.
Shane, what was your perspective of the sequence of pass interference, the delay of game, AT, that kind of shifted this game?
Yeah, it was tough. Obviously, they made the call. That was the official's call. I'm not going to get into detail on it, but I think a lot of people, saw it.
What's the most frustrating part of a loss like this?
When you have opportunities to win it, you know what I mean? You lose these tight games. Sometimes you win the tight games, but when you lose the tight games, it's frustrating because you're like, shoot, we could have had that, we could have this, could have that. You look back, it's 3 or 4 plays when you lose the tight ones. And so we got to find a way to get those 3 or 4 plays when it is a tight game like that. I don't have any details. All I just know is that it's a calf right now.
Daniel, we know he's not 100%. Given what you're facing with that pass rush, how did that impact you today?
I mean, I thought he played pretty good. He threw 2 touchdowns. He had over 100 passer rating. Credit to Texans. It's top defense in the league. They had some tight window throws we had to make, some contested catches. But I thought he played overall. I thought he played pretty well.
On that last play there, 4th and 9, did that look like it was at all misthrown by Daniel? Was it a ball that you would expect Michael to typically catch there? How did you see that last play?
Yeah, it was a tight window throw right there. They were matching things up. It was a bang-bang play,
Alec Pierce, he had a great day. What kind of impact, positive, did he have on the game?
Yeah, it was huge. He made some explosive plays down the field, and he got the 1 PI call on 3rd and forever where the guy tackled him, but the touchdown was huge. The deep crosser was huge. He showed up and made a ton of plays for us today.
I know there's always urgency, but you know what the standings are. Just what does that do in terms of changing the approach?
Yeah, heck yeah, the urgency. I think every week the urgency, whatever your record is, but especially in division games, you got to have a ton of urgency in division games. And so now we're sitting at 2-1 in the division with another division opponent on the road, that we got to get ready for.
Do you see any constant, or any through line with the 3 of those last 4 losses in the
I'll say just making those plays, myself, starting with myself, just making those 3 or 4 plays, to finish games, at the end. I think that's what we got to do. We got to find a way to do that, put our guys in position, in practice, whatever it may be, to look at those things, to get those things cleaned up.
Josh Downs obviously has a proven track record, but has had some drops lately. What do you communicate to a guy like that? We've seen a lot of players.
Yeah, I think he just had the one drop right on the first third down today. Was that it? Yeah, in the last drive. Yeah, I got you. Yeah, that tight one. Yeah, I got you. He made some big plays too. I got a ton of faith in Josh Downs. He's a hell of a player for us. Guys never want to drop balls. Those happen in games, but you go back, you get them cleaned up, and catch them moving forward.
Do you know Sauce avoided the Achilles injury?
Like I said, I don't have any details. All I know is it's a calf right now.
Your offensive line, I think, first half of the season, spectacular. Do you have any concerns about what up and down play lately?
I don't. I'll go back. I thought they did some good things today. Obviously, there's always stuff you can clean up moving forward. But we'll look at it, and we'll go from there. All right, guys? All right, thanks. Yep. See ya.
Shane was just mentioning how it's like you guys need that big play at some point in the fourth quarter to kind of finish these games. Why has that been elusive, do you think, the last few games?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think just got to find a way to make it. It's not always going to happen exactly how you draw it up, and you got to be able to make plays and make it work. So, I think we got to find a way to do that. It's critical in these games, and haven't been able to do it well enough.
How did you feel today? Obviously we know you're dealing with something, but just how if at all did it affect you? How did you kind of overcome it?
Yeah, felt good today. Just I think it will continue to improve week to week, and it felt pretty good today.
Did it feel at all similar, different to last week's game against the Chiefs?
It felt better than last week. Yeah, I think it just, you go back to work. I think, putting your head down and focusing on what we need to do to improve. I think everybody taking accountability and ownership of what we need to do, and certainly I play a big role in that. So for me, it's putting your head down and go back to work and making sure that I'm doing everything I need to do to put the team in a position to win games.
What is it about this Texans defense that you think made it kind of, more difficult for you all season long points?
Yeah, I think they do a good job mixing up looks. I think the personnel is good. They rush the passer well. They got good guys in the secondary, and they got good schemes. So, hats off to them. They're a good group. But when you look at it, I think we know we've got to execute at a higher level.
On a late game drive like that, how does the urgency or just the dynamics change when you're needing a touchdown?
I think in that situation we had a lot of time and didn't feel pressed for time really. So it was about running our offense and executing, and just had a couple plays that we didn't execute and got backed up and didn't convert. So I think that situation, obviously you need a touchdown, but with the time where it was and our timeouts, we didn't feel like we were pressed.
We saw the report that you're playing a fractured fibula. Is that what you're playing through, and was there any decision to think not playing?
I'm not going to get into specifics on it. I think I feel good enough to play. Doctors cleared me to play, so that's what I'm going to do.
Alec Pierce had a positive impact on this game. How much do you trust him downfield and just throw it up on that touchdown play?
Yeah, he played a really good game and had some big plays for us. And he's played well all season. I don't think that's a surprise to anybody who've watched us, and certainly not to us. So we'll continue to look for him to make those plays for us, and he stepped up, had a good game today.
From the outside looking in, the standings have changed, obviously, in the division. It looks like that's a very pressure situation from the outside looking in. What is sort of the tone, I guess, in the locker room?
Yeah, I think coming in tomorrow, I definitely expect a high sense of urgency and guys being ready, eager to correct what we need to correct and improve. I don't think anyone is no one's losing confidence, or certainly no one is, gonna get, too wound up about it. But we know what we have to do, and we know we have to improve and make progress. So, I expect guys to be ready to go, and we've got to have a good week. We got to make sure we clean some stuff up. The exchange, you're talking about the exchange? Yeah, I just got to do a better job getting the ball.